player shit. We gon' make it live with Big Dom. We ain't holding no punches. True players, we live, homie, no frontin'. Always talk about something. So taking over, you know that the wait is over. That in your face commentary is fire in the show up. We talk about sports, finance, and relationships. True players, we always playing the greatest hits. 1804, that mean Hades lit. Mothers still the true players like baby kicks. Our live podcast is hard as hard hats. Real life shit, that true players will talk that. So tune in and watch the whole world zoom in. When they hit it,
What's good, everybody? It's man Big Dog coming live at you, another True Players podcast episode. Here on a Sunday morning. Today's a happy day for a lot of us. We got rid of a president who was horrible from the jump. But for me personally, it's a great day because two things. Me being a Met fan, Steve Cohen officially closes on the sale of the Mets, which I will be talking about a little bit later in the podcast, as well as Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are president and vice president-elect of the United States of America. The 4 years of tyranny is over for Donald Trump, so we're going to see what's going to happen from there. But before I touch on those two subjects, I want to speak on a few things. First, I want to congratulate the LA Dodgers. They win the World Series 4-2 against the Tampa Bay Rays. But there was some controversy after they won the World Series involving Justin Turner. Now, everybody's blaming Justin Turner because he felt that he should have wore a mask during the team picture, which I agree with. But my problem is with Major League Baseball. How could you let him play knowing that he was positive for coronavirus? How could you let him play in 6 innings, only to pull him out in the 7th inning because you found out during the game that he had COVID-19. He was tested positive again. I have a very big issue with that because aren't you supposed to have the results before the game starts? I don't want to hear nothing about he got past security and things like that. I don't want to hear it because the fact of the matter is he shouldn't have even been playing the game in the first place. Now everybody's up in arms like, oh, we're worried about Dave Roberts, who's a cancer survivor. Things like that. You weren't concerned about him for the first 6 innings of the game. You weren't concerned about all the Dodgers teammates who's exposed to him in the first 6 innings of the game. Now you worry about him exposing the team during the team picture, celebrating a World Series title. This man has been in the last 3. This man Justin Turner has played the last 3 of the last 4 World Series. And he finally won his first World Series title. Ain't no one's going to stop him from going out and celebrating with his teammates. Coronavirus or not. It's a failure on Major League Baseball because as healthcare, me working in the healthcare field, I know the game. Those are the results at that stage with Major League Baseball. They should have got that before the game. Before the game. And he would have sat out the game. But this is only one reason why they allowed him to play, because they didn't want the series to end. They didn't want the World Series to be marred by a COVID-19 positive test. And then you had to shut it down and start another week later. They were playing in a bubble. So, do I feel that Justin should have been fined? I don't think he should be fined. But he should catch a mulligan for knowing that he had COVID-19, exposing his teammates at the end of the game. Should keep his mask on. I understand, the excitement of winning your first World Series title, but you should have been more, looking out for your teammates more. That's what being a great teammate is. I'm not saying he's a bad teammate at all, but in that very precious moments and minutes, he was a very bad teammate. But let's not take away his contribution to the Dodgers winning the World Series. That's all I got to say about him. But once again, congrats to the Los Angeles Dodgers winning the World Series. And as we segue now to one of my favorite subjects of the week, Stephen Cohen is officially the New York Mets majority owner. I'm so excited about the aspect of finally have an owner since Nelson Double A who's going to invest in his team to win a championship. I felt that Fred Wilpon, mostly his son, was pretty much in the way. I think Fred wanted to win. It wasn't about who he could control. It was about him being a general manager. I truly believe Fred Wilpon wanted to win as much as anybody, but his son was just in the way, which facilitated this move to have Steve Cohen buy the Mets. Don't forget the Bernie Madoff situation also facilitated this move also. And Stephen Cohen is new majority owner of the New York Mets. The Wilpons do have a 5% stake in the team, so they'll still be around, but you won't hear much from them anymore. And he hired Sandy Alderson, Sandy Alderson, and boy, did they clean house so fast in that front office. The most prominent names is Brody Van Wagenen, Omar Minaya. The latter of the two kind of surprised me because of his already good relationship with Steve Cohen, which is Omar Minaya. I thought he was going to be staying in as a scout for the organization, but he's gone. So where does that leave Omar Minaya? We all know what Brody's going to do. He's going to go back to CAA and take back his office as a big time power agent. I mean, I think what happened was with Brody, he thought he had the magic to turn the team around and all his how can I say this? Try to speak things into existence type of mentality that the team's going to win, the team's going to be great. And what happened was he made poor trades, which not only hurt the team short term, but also hurt the team long term. And I say this because the trade for Edwin Diaz and Robinson Cano, if you listen to my previous podcasts, I did tell you Robinson Cano hurt the flexibility of the Mets financially and on the field and in the lineup. Yes, Robinson Cano did have a good season this year, albeit of 60 games. Did have a good season. However, he took away the flexibility of you put Jeff McNeil out in the outfield. He's not an outfield. He's a second baseman. Should be somewhere in the infield. And now you have a situation which now you got two very good first basemen in Don Smith and Pete Alonso. And my opinion, I feel that Pete Alonso should start taking some ground balls at third base to see if he can play third base, because even though they're keeping a DH for next year, I feel that in the event that they take away the DH from National League the year after, you got to have a place for Pete Alonso to play. And I feel that his position should be third base. And I thought this came to my mind a couple of days ago. Maybe you could try to get him to play some left field. That's something the Mets should, definitely think about. Keep both bats in the lineup. I'm not trading either of them, even though some people in the Mets group that I'm in feels like you got to trade one of them. I'm in the super minority in regards to that. You don't trade away young talent. With those two guys in the middle of the lineup, could be some great things for the next 10 years, which includes re-signing Conforto. And you got Jeff McNeil at the top of the lineup, batting second. And what to do with Ahmed Rosario, because Jimenez should be the staple at shortstop. He's not a third baseman. He's not you could throw him at second base, but Cano's there. So that's going to be a chore for Sandy to do. Try to find a way to either get rid of Cano's contract, or what the Mets may have to do is definitely talk to Cano and tell him you may have to play some third base. So just so I can have McNeil or Jimenez there full time. And it may not be bad for Cano to play some third base, because it may save his legs, may be able to play more games. You never know what's going to happen. But now what Sandy's job is trying to find out who's going to be the next general manager. I've seen reports it could be Billy Beane coming to the Mets. It could be John Ricco, who's been there for years under Omar, under Sandy, under Brody. Don Rico knows the organization. He knows the players on the minor league system. I think he has inside track at getting the job. And there's a few other candidates outside of the organization who are candidates for the position. But, like I said, I'm just excited to the fact that, we don't deal with Will Pawns, penny pinching for players. It's time for us to shop at the biggest market, because New York is a big market organization. We should act like one. Not no coupon, not no discounted players, discounted organization looking for a cheap way. But we also got to draft properly also. My thing is that I'm very big on depth. What depth does is keeps you competitive for years beyond the window that you set for yourself. And when you got other guys, when you got pitchers getting old, you got someone in the minor leagues as a pipeline that's ready to take your spot and ready to rock and roll and not miss a beat. And that's how I feel this organization, Mets organization, has failed in regards to that, as far as developing players in the minor leagues. Yes, they got some now. They got McNeil, they got Alonso, they got Smith, they got Conforto. It's a good start. Good start there. Now let's keep on going so this team can compete for the next 10 years. Because let me tell you something, the Braves are not going away. The Marlins are coming up. The Nationals will make a comeback next year. So that NL East is going to be a tough division to win. The only way you're going to win is to have depth in your position players as well as pitching. And find somebody to fix Steven Matz. Someone needs to fix him. If he pitches to his potential, this rotation with no one coming back, you sign another starting pitcher, whether it's Trevor Bauer. I don't want Marcus Stroman because he talks too much and he pussied out the season this year. So I don't want him on the team. He talks too much shit. Shut the fuck up and go somewhere and go hide. Go somewhere and fucking hide. I don't want to see your ass. I want to hear from you. What you pulled this year was bullshit. You got your service time so you can become a free agent, and then you fucking opt out for the season because of COVID. Fuck out of here. But now the thing is with Sandy Alderson, what he's going to do now with Luis Rojas. So now we have to consider. Does Luis Rojas stay in the organization as manager? Or is he going to be reassigned? That's the next step. For everybody who wants Wally Backman to come and manage the New York Mets, that will not happen as long as Sandy Alderson is in the organization. So forget that noise, kill that noise. Good dreams. That dream will never happen. Even though it should happen, but it will never happen. Knowing Sandy's in office. This is Sandy's show, guys. For all my Met fans, wake up. This is Sandy's show. So I'm going to talk a little bit about football. I'm not going to say much about the New York Jets. They suck. Darnold's not playing this Monday, because of the shoulder. Adam Gates is still coach. I don't know why. The team to watch in New York is the Giants. Even though the Giants are 1-7, I believe. They're a much more entertaining team to watch. And the Giants, for the most part, should have 4 wins on their docket. And the reason why they don't have 4 wins, I'm sorry to say this, but everyone's jumping on Sam Darnold's back about him not being the quarterback of the Jets, how they should draft Trevor Lawrence. The Giants fans, you need to look at your man Daniel Jones. Is he the quarterback for your team? He does great things. I know he does some great things, but it comes down to clutch situations. This season, he's fumbled, threw bad interceptions. He was in the throw he made to Deion Lewis for the 2-point conversion to tie the game was late. As soon as he snapped the ball, he should have thrown it right to Deion Lewis. It would have been an easy 2-point conversion. Would have went to overtime against Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which was a hell of a game Monday night. It's a very good game. I'm surprised the Giants moved the ball against the Tampa Bay Buc defense the way they did. But to give Tampa Bay credit, they made some big plays defensively, got some big time turnovers, and they were lucky. But luck does play into the games as well. So the Giants fans need to consider, looking at Daniel Jones, is he the answer at quarterback for you guys? And if he's not the answer, Gettleman not going to have a job. I feel Gettleman should have been fired years ago, in my opinion. I think Jerry Reese did a better job that he has over the long course of time. Jerry Reese said, along with of course, he got the quarterback. They weren't wrong about the quarterback. Gettleman seems to be wrong about the quarterback. The offensive tackle, Andrew Thomas, he's going to have struggles in the first year. I mean, granted, the New York Jets left tackle, Mekhi Becton is a beast already. It's a beast already. But, some people flourish quickly. Some people take some time to really reach their potential. And that takes good coaching. It takes good mentoring in the offensive line. So we're going to see what happens this week with the Giants. Like I said, Giants need to protect the football. Daniel Jones needs to stop fumbling, stop throwing bad interceptions. Like Joe Judge says, it's better to take a sack than give the ball away. Live for another down. And all this bullshit about Golden Tate and his wife letting his wife pop off at the mouth by how he's not getting the ball enough and shit like that. Do me a favor. This is the problem with these women. They think they know everything about a sport that their husband plays. Keep your mouth out of the business of football. That's not your domain. Not because you don't coach in it. You're putting your husband in a bad light. Whatever you say behind closed doors between you and your husband should stay behind closed doors. That's what a marriage is about. It's not for you to air out his grievance. It's up to him to air out his grievance. That's why he was playing with the scout team during practice this whole week. That's why he was sent home. Not because of something that he said, which is true. He should be targeted more. But however, because you as a wife couldn't keep your mouth shut. Wanted to go on Twitter and be thugged out. Now, sweetheart, sit there, keep your mouth shut. Let your husband collect his paycheck. All right? Because right now, you don't even know the way you act, you may cost him a paycheck. Look what happened to Kaepernick when he was almost signed with the Baltimore Ravens and Nessa spoke up against the owner of Baltimore. People forgot about that. Everyone seems to be concerned about him being blackballed by the NFL. But he had his opportunity, and his girlfriend opened her mouth and fucked it up. So that's all I'm saying is about now. We just hope that the Giants play very well and get a win this week. The Jets. Flacco's going to be starting. Flacco acts like he doesn't even want to play. I don't blame him. Team is bad. You just trade away Avery Williamson to the Steelers, which Avery Williamson is happy about. Going from 0-17 to a 7-0 team, the opportunity to play in the Super Bowl. I'm just sad I didn't get a chance to see him play with C.J. Mosley on the field in the defense. I'm just sad about that. As Joe Douglas continues his Mike McCadden player purge, as I call it. He had noticed during a press conference that he feels that Adam Gase is part of the solution. The man is smoking. He's on high. He's high as hell. Part of the solution, he is the main culprit of the problem of the New York Jets. And let me tell you something. Greg Williams is not the answer either. The way his defense played last year, that defense should have held up this year. Giving up 80-yard runs on the first play of the game. Giving up a 55-yard run on 3rd and 31. That's on Greg Williams, man. Not on the head coach. So on Greg Williams, too. That's his defense. Defense that was top 10 last year. Oh, by the way, with Jamal Adams. Mike McCannon pick. Shout out to Mikey Mack. So we're gonna segue off football for now. I'll talk to you guys more about football. Let's get back to the main news. After so many days, November 3rd, that night, I only slept 2 hours that night because I was so worried about seeing this guy, number 45, getting another 4 years. It scared the fuck out of me, guys. It scared the fuck out of me. But I'm glad everybody came out and voted. Everyone came out as a united front to get rid of the tyranny, the 4-year tyranny of number 45. Once again, I want to congratulate President-elect Joseph R. Biden Jr. and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris on their victory of obtaining the White House in January. They got a lot of work to do, especially with the coronavirus situation, as well as the economy, as well as unemployment, amongst other things. But the most important thing is to reunify this country that's been divided over the past 4 years due to racial rhetoric by number 45, by his minions coming out in the forefront, showing off their racial truths about them. They came out the closet. All them closet racists all came out of the closet. Now we got to put them back into bed and forever. This guy's thought about he's not going to leave the White House. He wants to recount. He's going to sue everybody. Fuck you. Fuck you. Your ass is coming out that damn White House one way or the other. If I was president-elect, if he doesn't leave the White House, I'd be like, I would call for a criminal charge and treason. Not doing the American duty of surrendering your seat as president to the new incoming president. I consider that treason. It's something that if lucky Joe Biden's not me, so I would definitely brought that up. I would have charged him with treason. I legally won the election. There was no collusion. There was no someone tampering with the election like they did in 2016. For you, there was none of that shit. It was just people going out there and vote. People registering and going out there and vote. That's why you lost. They got tired of your bullshit. You couldn't handle a damn fucking COVID virus. That's why you fucking lost, you dumb idiot. All this pompous talk. The White House not no fucking Apprentice show. You made a mockery of this country. Everyone outside of this country is laughing at us because you're punk ass. So give up the goddamn office. You don't deserve it. You don't have it. Come January, get the fuck out, nice and smooth, and go to Florida because your bum ass ain't welcome in New York. Your bum ass is definitely not welcome in New York. We don't want you in New York. Your New York status has been revoked. Cry like a little baby. You know what I'm saying? Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. We got new president in town. We got new vice president in town. And before, I'm gonna want to apologize for Kamala Harris, vice president-elect. I said something on my previous podcast that the only time she sees herself black is when she has AKA sorority meetings. And that vice president-elect, I want to apologize for you on the True Players podcast. That's wrong for me to say. I was caught up in my emotions, and That first of, I'm going to apologize to you directly on the True Players podcast. Hope you accept my apology. And now I understand that, you are the vice president-elect. Joe Biden is the president-elect. We all got to work together to solve the ills that this president now has brought to the country, brought division. We got to bring back the unity, and for me, that's the first step. For me is by apologizing to bring back the unity back to our country, which is very important. This is the United States, not the divided states of America. This is not the MAGA states of America. This is the United States. Everyone, every single person in this country counts. And it's time for us to go back to that. However, I'm gonna say this, because I know you guys are gonna do a much better job than this fool has done. However, once you guys take office in January, you guys are on the clock. People have questions. What are you going to do about police brutality against blacks? What are you guys going to do about unemployment? What are you guys going to do to bring back unity back to the country? I think both your speeches last night was very beautiful, and you guys are on the track to try to bring the United States together. But it's going to be hard to bring those Trump supporters to your side because they're blinded by hatred and racism, two demonic traits, and bigotry. It's going to be tough task, but I from what I heard from your speeches last night, I believe you guys will be on the right track to get that going. And most importantly, that everyone wants to know is what are your guys' plans to erase COVID-19 from this country and from the world? What is your plan? What's the course of action? Because people are itching to go back to normal. Itching. I want to be able to travel freely without having to come back home and have to quarantine for 2 weeks and not get paid for it. I want to go to Florida. I want to go to Georgia. I got interest in getting some property in both states, which I can't do now because if I were to go to Florida, but if I go to Georgia, when I come back home, I have to quarantine for 2 weeks without pay. That's the most important thing on everyone's mind, is how you guys are going to handle COVID-19. How are you going to get this done? Like I said, your speeches yesterday was beautiful. You guys seem like you guys have a plan. You're bringing back the task force. Let's strengthen the task force. But let's get some doctors on the field who are treating these people with COVID-19 involved as well. That's one idea I do have. Hope you guys take that. So, like I said, congrats, Joseph Biden, Kamala Harris, on your victory. Don't let this guy Donald Trump sweat you with this lawsuits and bullshit like that. Just throw it out, toss it out, and make sure everybody get their stimulus checks. That's what we need also. So on this end, this is your man Big Don. I want to sign up for this True Players podcast. You could watch a podcast on my YouTube channel. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel at True Players Podcast, which is TRUPLAYAZ podcast for all video content of the podcast. If you want to listen to the audio in your cars, at work, on your break time, you listen to it on Spotify, Anchor, Spreaker, JoeyG Radio, which is JoeyGRadio.com, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, I miss some TuneIn Radio, and all other podcast platforms. True Players Podcast is on all other podcast platforms. Any feedback, comments, and complaints, you can definitely hit me up on my email, trueplayerspodcast, TRUPLAYAZ, podcast@gmail.com. It's your man, Big Dom. I'm going to sign up on this podcast on a Sunday morning. I'll see you guys later. Peace.